Carpal tunnel, wrist issues, a lot of typing, a lot of working with the hands. This becomes a real problem. We get so much gripping that we don't get hardly any extending, and the muscles get very weak or very one-sided. And honestly, first, I always go to the roots of the tree, and I think that's the problem in society today, that my mom, I remember, had a lot of issues with her wrist and with carpal tunnel, but we always thought it was the wrist and the hand that was the problem. Well, what controls the wrist and the hand? Right here. So the roots of the tree are up top. So if you have damage here, it can very well be causing anything wrist, elbow, or shoulder related. Always the first place to start. X-ray of the cervical spine. If there's damage there, you start there and work your way out. Not to say that you can't have a problem with the wrist. If you do, here's what you can back it up with. Stretching, strengthening, and stripping. Let me explain. Stretching, number one, 3 different stretching exercises that you can do for the wrist and the hand. If you want to follow along, Dr. Biagini, to make sure I'm teaching it properly. The extension of the hand, you're going to feel it pull right up through these muscles here, and so you'll be holding for 10 seconds. You can do up to 10 of those. Flip it the other way, we can go into flexion with it, and you're going to stretch all of the tendons here. Typically not as big a problem and not as much of a stretch in flexion as it is in extension for a lot of people. Again, we're getting a lot of flexion motions. We're not getting a lot of extension motions. So those two, either direction, 10-second holds. The final one is the brachioradialis, where you're stretching that whole tendon that comes off the top. Thumb area, very sensitive and tender area at the top of the thumb. So he's just stretching that downward and stretching this tendon out. 10-second holds. Those 3 stretches is for some people. Others need to strengthen the wrist and the area. And so from a strengthening exercise, it's as simple as a rubber band. So you're going to place this around the 3 muscles of the thumb is what we're going to try to do to get strengthening exercises in extension. Again, if we do a lot of gripping, we need to strengthen it the other way, extending. So the first muscle is all of them. So that's going to be a main muscle of the thumb and the fingers. So we're just extending all the fingers and all the thumbs. And you'll just do this. You can do it while you're driving in the car, home from work, watching TV. Whenever you got some downtime until your hand fatigues, make sure the rubber band is tight enough. You could double it up if you needed to. Second muscle is the muscle between your thumb and your pinky. You'll be able to work the thumb extensor that way. So he doubled up the rubber band to get a little bit more challenge with it. But it's that same thing until it's fatigued. You'll work it. Last one is going to be your index and thumb. So your index finger and thumb, same thing. So all fingers, pinky finger, index finger. You're going to feel that. You feel this on the opposite side. It's getting fatigued on the outside. Really great for the wrist and for the fingers themselves. So some of you need to stretch it. Some of you need to strengthen it. Some of you just need to give it a break. And you do that by not strengthening, not stretching, but then you go to stripping. And stripping the muscles to help to get the inflammation out of the muscle and really help that thing relax because it's just overused. And with the wrist, it can be anywhere down in the wrist or all the way up to the elbow. You can use anything hard, round, a piece of wood, a pencil. Some people use a butter knife to do it, kind of the backside of a butter knife. For our sake, I'm just going to use a simple highlighter. A pen would probably work. There's a lot of different things. You can even buy stripping tools online to strip the muscles and to really break it down. So you'll be using this, and he's going to be stripping towards the heart and working back up towards the arm. And you can imagine all the tendons attached to the fingers down here. So you're stripping up those tendons, and you'll find tender areas. Those are the ones you want to stay on and strip towards. 30 to 60 seconds of it. You could take a break, do this up to 5 times. Usually right around the elbow is a really tender area for you. Again, all those muscles that control the wrist are at the elbow. It can be causing the carpal tunnel type issues. Had cases clear up just when they started doing this because they finally just needed to take a break from all the stretching and all the overuse and really just strip that muscle. Rest is going to be a huge key as well. But start here, work your way out, stretching, strengthening, and stripping. That's your carpal tunnel and your wrist issues solved.